two, one, and yep, we are live.
Yes.
What is up, party people? Welcome to the Grindin' Jiu-Jitsu podcast with your host, C-Tech all day, coming from Florida, formerly from Bronx, New York. And today, listen, episode 4 is another special. I know I say it on every episode, special episodes, but I'm going down my jiu-jitsu journey in the podcasting world just so everyone knows. I traveled all across the country doing jiu-jitsu, and but it had to start somewhere. And that somewhere was 10th Planet Orange. I walked into this gym super heavy, and these grapplers really helped me out, helped me drop weight, and got the fire of jiu-jitsu back in me that I quit 3 years ago. So today is another really good guest because it just so happens that 10th Planet Orange has monsters. And one of these monsters is Mr. Mike John. Mr. Mike John, how are you, sir?
I'm great. Yeah, it's a little hot, but I have nothing to complain about because you're in Florida and I'm in California, so it's not that bad compared to where you are. But it's a little hot. I'm chilling. I trained earlier today. I'm gonna go back in like an hour and a half, train again. Life is good. We know that. True healing, true happiness. A lot of times it's on the mats, so we're very lucky.
Very, very lucky. So, for those who don't know who Mike John is, he won something not too long ago. That was, just so happened to be on network TV, something called the 10P Combat Jiu-Jitsu Team Duels. And, sir, that was one of the most exciting finals I have ever seen in my life in watching jiu-jitsu. And no, I don't pay for Flow Grappling because you guys are assholes for charging so much money. Anyway, bro. Oh, by the way, he's also champion of Arte Suave. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, that was good. That was good too.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Um, Mike, listen, when I look at myself, I'm 50 pounds down, and I remember seeing you come into that gym freaking stocky, super stocky. And I'm like, man, he's like my height. And I'm like 150 pounds, maybe 160 pounds over this man. When I get skinny, I want to look like Mike John.
You're so nice.
Okay. I want to look like Mike John. Mike, thank you so much for coming to the podcast. I know you're super busy. He's also teaching at 10th Planet Orange, which is super full circle. Um, you just had a subversive match, got the dub.
Yeah. It was on Saturday. I was in and out in like 30 seconds. Honestly, a
Yeah.
really really quick match. If anything, it probably cost me more time like going there, going to weigh-ins, a press conference, all that kind of stuff like that. But yeah, it went really well. I'm actually really lucky because my first opponent dropped out the week of, and I got a new guy like that Tuesday, I think it was. So very like props to him for stepping up because without your opponent, there's no you.
There's no match.
There's no
Yeah.
match. Yeah, kind of a different conversation. So props to Vince, because the other guy, I kind of do a little bit of internet stalking. I kind of do some social media, Sherlock Holmesing, and that guy was in Vegas training. He had no like
Prior
he had no purpose or no, I guess, even real like I don't know what I'm looking
accolades.
for. Yeah, well, no, actually, but he had no like he wasn't going to go to the match anyways for whatever reason. And that was kind of like a little disappointing, because it's like I was looking to test myself against a really good Atos guy, MMA fighter. We were doing CJJ,
Okay.
which is a little different than normal jiu-jitsu. So yeah, I was like, yo, kind of what the fuck. So I was like, whatever. I got a match. It all went well. Competition's always kind of like a scary place, which I'm sure if you competed, right? Because it's like this place of like unknown where you feel like you may get exposed or whatever. But it worked out well. No injuries. I'm rolling the next day, no problem. Life's great.
Life is fantastic, especially for me right now, because this is so cool. I love traveling back in time and just going to the grapplers that were. So I lost the interest of jujitsu and my friend, God rest his soul, goes, "Yo, you're fat, bro. Yo, you were looking so good when you were doing jujitsu, and now look at you now. Get your ass back into a jujitsu gym."
Yeah, that's a
But
homie.
yo, I'm like, but yo, I have a contract in Cali. Like, I don't know anything. He goes, yo, just Google the closest gym and jump in there. And it just so happened to be Orange, and history is made. I have not stopped for 7 years straight. Um, Mike, tell us, what's your origins? Where you come from? Are you born and raised in Cali? Give us some origins. What is the origins of Mike John?
Oh, I just want to give a shout out to your friend because that's the friend that we all need, the one that's going to push us and just not bullshit us. Maybe a little bit of shaming, a little bit, but that's a real one. So kudos to your friend.
God
Um,
rest his soul.
God bless his soul, rest his soul. So I am actually from the Bay Area. I was born in Daly City. I was actually in foster care for a bit. My parents adopted me at 6 months. They legitly saved my life because I look at where my biological kind of brothers ended up. You know, I just say that I made out a little better. So I'm very thankful for that. I spent a lot of time in Cali, and I spent some time in Central California for a bit. Moved down to SoCal around like 2014, 2015. Actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. I found jujitsu in 2008 when my football coach made us do jujitsu. I'm not kidding. He got the whole the boosters program to pay for like a summer of all of us doing like Gracie Baja jiu-jitsu. My coach was Jonathan Todd. Big shout out to him. I don't know if I'd be here without him. But yeah, we all did jiu-jitsu, and I was kind of just naturally just a little better than most of the guys on the team, because they didn't want to do this shit anyways. It was like something that was kind
Right,
of
right. We just want to play football.
yeah, dude. But like, what are we doing here? But I eventually got like pretty good throughout the 3 or 4 month process, and the professor would regularly challenge me in front of like the whole class. He was like ADCC vet. Like his name's Flavio Almeida. His brother was in the UFC, Ricardo Almeida. He'd all in this big Michael, let's roll, my
Oh,
bro. Fuck. So like I kind of like got the bug a little bit. Like not like where I was going like every day, just when I had to kind of thing. But that was something that like I knew I really enjoyed, and I think deep down I knew I could make my life about it because I didn't really like any other avenues that were kind of popping up in my life. I didn't want to go to school, I didn't want to work at a desk job or anything like that. So then I found that. I stopped for a little bit just to go to school and stuff because, like, my parents pressure you. You got to get a real job. You got to do this, got to do that. And I was like, all right, for sure. I'll go be a fireman. I'm going to go to the fire academy. That's what I'm going to do. And I was
right.
like, that seemed pretty dope. A pretty active job. You get paid well. People love firemen. People hate the police. So it just seemed like like, like, yeah, it just seemed like an overall, like a good avenue for me. But then I discovered I was in EMT school, and me and this other guy named Michael Hillebrand, who actually, funny enough, owns 10 Planet Oakland now. We crazy story, right? So we were in EMT class. We're trying to get our EMT license because you need to pass the national registry to be an EMT, to be a first responder, to get into the fire academy. So we're doing that. All of a sudden, this guy in our class goes, "Hey man, I have a fight in like 3 or 4 weeks for MMA. Can you guys help me get better?" And it's like, "What, dude? What the fuck? Is this some random guy?" And it's like, "Yeah, whatever." So we go to a gym, and I'm like, "I've trained before. I kind of know what I'm doing." And there's this little hole in the wall MMA gym taught by some purple belt named Pete Worvey. And that's kind of how I just started going there almost every day. I got a fight in like 3 months. Won my fight, my TKO in the second round, and I was like, "Oh, maybe I can do this shit." Eventually, that gym closed down. I went to another school up north called Oakdale MMA. I took like 12 fights up there, got my purple. Just literally just kind of fell in love with the process, just because I figured that if I'm going to do this, I'm going to run into somebody who loves it just like I do, and they're going to beat the fuck out of me if I don't train like they do. So I just kept training. Got my purple in the gi, so I do still like the gi a little bit.
Okay. I'm
It's
there
all
now.
jujitsu, right? It's all jujitsu.
I'm there now. It's
Yeah.
good.
And then around 2014, moved to Orange County, saw 10th Planet. EBI was kind of blowing up. Metamoris was blowing up. I wasn't doing so well at MMA. I had a first pro fighting. I like armbarred in like a minute, and I was kind of like brokenhearted, honestly, because I really saw myself going to like the UFC, doing stuff like that. And then I tore my knee. I was in camp the next week, training for a fight, and Joe Soto blows my knee out with an inside heel look from 50-50. So
Oh,
yeah, so I'm out for a year, and when I come back, I just I got I think I was a brown belt at the time. I just started training and competing as much as I could. I forgot MMA. I kind of told myself the door was closed and started just training like every day, twice a day, competing, in anything I could find, sub fighter, Naga, grappling act, grappling industry, super fight, this, that, fight to win, whatever. And yeah, just kept doing as much as I could. And luckily, I've kept grinding. And eventually, they offered me a position at Ten Planet Orange to teach once they kind of went through like a staff shuffle. And now I get to train every day. I train twice a day. My job is looking at instructionals to show the class. I get to go compete and do what I love. It's just, that's kind of like the
You
spark.
get paid to train.
Yeah, I get paid to do. So it's something I never really thought possible. I was a bartender, the first, from like 18 to like probably around like 30, honestly, 31. And I remember thinking, like, did you fuck up, dude? Did you make a mistake? Because like you're kind of at this dead end job with nothing, like what are you doing? And then I just put everything in jiu-jitsu, just competing, training, just, this is my money I didn't have, I'm flying to Chicago for a tournament, it's just willing to risk it all just to get a little exposure and get out there. And it's still a work in progress, but I can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, dude, listen, let's talk about that progress. You know what the craziest part about this whole story, like just because knowing you in general in that gym life, it's crazy how it's almost like you you got there before Dova.
Yeah.
You were there before Dova. Dova gets there, and I think maybe 6 months later, I show up out of nowhere. So it's like how crazy the world is that it's just everything happens for a reason. And I just feel like what's insane is that just looking back, it's almost 7 years since then. You know what I mean? Like almost we're gonna almost at a decade.
Yeah.
We're almost at a decade, and it's crazy just looking at you guys completely catapult to the top. I've been watching and Dova and Coach West going in the qualifiers and just looking y'all grind, and I'm like, yo, 10th Planet Monster Squad are representing our body. And I just want to say super proud of you that
Thank you.
you kept it going, kept it grinding, and you're not stopping. And now you got some credible, some great dubs under your belt. Like, this is just awesome to hear, bro. Just
Yeah, and
awesome to
shout out
hear.
to Dova too, because his come up was pretty fucking quick. He was
Fast, fast,
so quick.
fast.
But
He
like
was a
if you're
blue belt.
yeah,
He
but
was
if
a
you
blue
remember
belt.
him, like he was a tough blue belt. Like he knew as much as some purples or browns at the time, and
Yeah, yeah.
building monsters at 10 Planet Fullerton. His last qualifier showing, he just crushed everybody. And I like a lot of the guys in that tournament. I like Joe Kai. I like Chris Crawford. I like those guys. I love Michael Maness. He's my main training partner. But he crushed everybody in there. And he was like, dude, he's on another level, man. Like, I really believe that his best is yet to come, man. I think we're going to Cancun this weekend for CJJ Worlds.
That's
So
right. Yeah, for his match. That's right.
that's a stacked bracket. You got Red Alarcon in there. You got Dorian Olivares, who fucked me up with J tools, which I got a funny story about that. I went to Austin a couple weekends ago and he fucked me up again. So it was just like I think Dova is his best is yet to come. He's only getting better and he's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better Fender training partner. And honestly,
Amen.
fucking coach too. He corners me last weekend at Subversive. He's right there. All the qualifiers, he's right there for me. He's a coach, man. I fucking love him.
He was one of the coaches on the team duel too, correct?
Yeah, he was right there with me, dude. Actually, me and him went to Mexico together. Like he was with me the entire time. We got there like I think a Tuesday or Wednesday beforehand, and we're training and all that. And he's all like, "Yo, who am I?" I'm like, "You're Ethan. I'm rolling with you. Who am I? Oh, you're Damon. I'm rolling with you. Who am I? I'm Kieran. Cool. He's the guy.
He is the guy.
Coach we all need. I fucking love him.
Yo, that's freaking awesome. So, I mean, I created this podcast for the I we everybody talks about jujitsu and a specific portion of jujitsu, but I like to focus on the competing. And yes, nudity is acceptable here. So ladies, just letting you know, I don't know if you're taken or not, Mike, but just admire, okay? Just admire. Um, So I made this podcast on the ups and downs of jujitsu, the highs and the lows of jujitsu. So far, and it's been a long career for you right now.
Yeah.
What is the highest point for yourself in the jujitsu world right now?
I mean, I think we got to go back to that team duel. You know, that was for sure like the highest point. Like I've never like if you watch me like I do pretty well in the local comps. I'll beat a lot of the local black belts, no problem. But whenever I get to that next level, sometimes I kind of falter and don't always do as well. You know, like I almost have that like all I see is silver kind of effect. But in the team duels, man, like I went out there and to be honest, I felt like everything was I don't remember a lot. I feel like I was in just in flow mode the entire time, you know. And whether that was the Mexico, whether that was the marijuana edibles I took, you know. Uh, I'm honestly not sure, but like even the finals round, it was just a blur. But I just knew what I had to do, and I think a big part of it was Nate Orchard before the event. You know, and I've looked up to Nate for quite a while. He's like, "Hey guys, I'm gonna try and say this as like unselfishly as possible, but like keep in mind that this is not an individual event. This is a team event. So I need all you guys to play your roles the best you fucking can." It's like, all right, for sure. You know, so sometimes you got to remember that getting to a draw with a person is a lot better than losing because you're not at a deficit. It's like, all right,
Yep.
let's do that. And we played everything perfectly. I mean, the B team can cry all they want, you know, but we all played the same game, and
You
we
could
can.
cry all you want, but where's the check going?
I know exactly. So, and I got a beautiful belt. I got a beautiful belt for it. I got a lot of open doors from it. I mean, I just, you know, I think it's only fitting that Eddie created the team duel. We should have won it, and we did. And it wasn't anything, you know, like spectacular, but we grinded and we got it done. And it was just for sure. Like, I mean, I still watch the video. I'm still watching the video like day.
Dude, that last scrap, listen, that last match was, I've never seen some, like, you were put into really bad positions, and dude, your defense was just on point. Like, there was no, it was just insane. It was just an insane spectacular, just a showing of what you know in jiu-jitsu and how to freaking survive to the best of your ability. And I wasn't even worried. A few points, I was like, ah, but
Yeah,
then I'm like, he's good. He's good. He's good. Yeah, he's good.
yeah, no, yeah. I get you. A lot of people I think felt the same thing, but at the same time, like I think the root of my confidence and what I really focused on in the past couple of years is just my defense, man. Like I had a couple of like tournaments against like say this big dude. We were in a 3-on-3 tournament. This fool mounts me and arm triangles me, and I was like, "Fuck, dude, that can't happen." Even if the guy's really big, so I spent a lot of time bottom out. I spent a lot of time on the back. You know, a lot of situationals. And that really helps, you know, because if the guy can't sub you in a sub only format, it don't mean shit. We're gonna go to OT and it's a huge reset, and it's like cool. And then now we get to have like an OT game, so it's perfect. So it's like
Yeah, yeah.
I felt good. I knew what I had to do. You know, I knew that little kid wasn't gonna sub me, but he dude, he was like, I
He's
think he was
good.
17.
He's good. Yeah,
He was
17.
se-
He's
he,
good.
he's in the CDJ Worlds next weekend. I don't know how he's gonna make 135 same day weigh-ins, but he's in there.
He's good. That
He's
kid, he has a bright future. That kid has a bright future.
I rolled with him at 10 Planet Austin 2 weeks ago. I was traveling out there, just because we just love traveling jiu-jitsu, right? So I'm out there, and I'm like having 5 or 6 rounds in, and this little kid also, hey, you want to roll? I was like, oh fuck, it's you. I'm like, sure, let's do this. He whooped my ass.
Did he recognize you?
Oh yeah, like dude, I think he was there for me because like I think he got there early, but I didn't recognize who he was. He's in the corner, just kind of chilling, warming up, and all that. I go, 5 or 6 rounds, open mat. All of a sudden, he approaches me. I know, hey, you want to roll? I'm like, oh, I remember this guy. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So as we're rolling, his mom's in the back just filming him whooping my ass. I'm just like, cool, like fucking great.
Wait till there's a check on the line.
Yeah. Well, then right afterwards, whoops my ass. Doesn't sub me, whoops my ass the entire thing. Then, hey, you want to do some OT? I'm like, sure, let's do it. Like, I know what he's getting at, kind of thing. And he could just want good work, but I can tell that I was living in his head rent free since
Yeah,
December.
yeah, yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm gonna get that
He
guy. I'm
was
gonna get
looking for it. He was
that
looking
guy.
for it. Dude, that's super sick. Before we get to the lows of jiu-jitsu, um, I have to give a shout out to Pressure Pass Pressure Washing for hooking this podcast up with a brand new microphone. I still got to get an interface. So, Jiu Jitsu World, cash app your boy C Tech so we can get a new interface so we can make this podcast even better and we can make Jiu Jitsu better, great again. Also, shout out to my gym, Kojito Jiu Jitsu. Thank you so much, guys, for allowing me to teach and allowing me to train and be a better version of myself. Mike, so we heard the highs and being on that team duel, you were with heavy hitters, Nathan Orchard, um oh,
Ben
I
Eddie.
can't forget Ben Eddy, monster, freaking Houdilitine galore. I got to do a seminar with Ben Eddy, and that was super fun. It was super fun at 10th Planet NYC. Shout out to 10th Planet New York City, Stingray out there. Um, so your lows, and I don't want to. I know you have your lows, but I do
Yeah.
not want you to mention the Craig Jones qualifier.
Oh yeah, I mean that yeah, I would say that that's a low in itself, just for me, man, because I think I have the ability to win the whole tournament, and I get second every time. Derek just ruins my days. I think it's 3 times in a row so far. So it's just like, but at the same time, like whatever. I'm so like blessed to be able to compete, and I'm sure a lot of people would slap me for even saying like, "Shut the fuck up! How dare you say it's a low to get to the finals every fucking time?" So it's like, you're right. But like I don't know, for lows for me, like personally, like obviously there's no money in jiu-jitsu, right? Like it's fucking it's a rough fucking sport, and a lot of us rely on sponsors, the people helping us out, private seminars, workshops, stuff like that to get going. But for me, like the biggest low for me, when I think yeah, I mentioned it when Joe Soto just blew my knee out. I was out
Right.
for a year because of that, and like
Yeah.
I'm a different person. I'm sure we are when we don't train. If I don't get that training in for a month straight, shit hits me a little harder. I'm a little more fast twitch to get mad at somebody, for whatever it is. And I didn't have insurance at the time. I didn't like. It's one thing about jiu-jitsu that I don't really tell you. It's like, hey, at some point you're probably gonna get hurt pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
And you got a bunch of like bro science around the gym, but in reality, you need to go to a fucking doctor, get an MRI or whatever it is, and have them fix it, whether it's physical therapy, surgery, whatever. And that was probably the lowest low for me, honestly. Just like not training, And then I got to a point where I didn't have insurance and I couldn't get fixed, so I'm literally just rolling with one leg in the gym, just doing the best that I can. And it's like I don't know if that's something that was kind of low, but eventually turned into a high because I just built a totally different game.
Yeah,
I want,
is it counterproductive? Is it productive?
yeah, I hurt
But then
myself
again,
more.
yeah, are you hurting
Yeah,
yourself more? But then again, my left leg is getting a lot better than my right
yeah.
leg. So is it counterproductive? Because now my right leg is gonna be like Hanson.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can't even bend my heel to my butt, But I'm going for arm bars with it. I can do this, So it was a little bit of that was a low for me because I just feel like a different person. I just didn't train like I want. I couldn't go hard. I couldn't play the game. I couldn't do certain wrestling takedowns. Like if there's a certain part of the class where it was like an arm drag, Sasai foot sweep, couldn't do that because I couldn't balance on one leg
Right.
well enough to do it. So it was just like that was a low for me. Another thing was just starting to when I first started to compete. I don't know if anybody remembers. I fucking sucked, dude. I did not place at all at the first couple of tournaments, and it was like almost like heartbreaking because like in the room, I feel like I'm fucking everybody up. Heavyweight, lightweight, it didn't matter. I'd find a way to sub you. But when I go out there in the tournaments when I first started, I was getting works, man. Like, and I had some people even tell me, like, yo, when you first started, I remember you, like, you did not do well. It's like, no, I wouldn't even place in some of the fucking tournaments. It was like, and this is like a local sub fight or something that, like, I feel like I am for sure more than capable to deal with. So it was like, that was a low for me. But, like anything else, I just made some adjustments, made some tweaks to my training, eventually got insurance, got fixed, started to have to, like, be a real student of the sport, not just kind of go in there like a loose cannon. I found out what works for me day of competition, what keeps me calm. Usually a lot of breathing, some, THC, and
Okay.
watching movies. I just like to relax and chill. And then if I can save it all and leave it for the competition, I feel really good. I feel I learned how to manage my nerves. But at first, I almost thought, like, dude, what are you doing? Just going out there. Like, actually, my friends would call me stage fright because, like, I would
Oh
right,
no!
right, terrible, right? I would crush everybody in the room. I would crush the instructor. I'd crush the visiting guy. I would I would crush people in EBI. I would wreck them. Go to fucking grapple. Go to Rev Gear. First round done. Toho. It's like, fuck, like
You know what? Then that's my new name, Stage Fright.
that.
I I just competed versus Brian Brown,
Oh,
10th
shit.
Planet
Oh, he's
Jacksonville.
a guy, right?
Huh? Yeah,
He's
10th
he was 10 Planet. Fuck, which one is it?
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Yeah, yeah,
Jacksonville with Barbosa, and I think Chris is still with him too.
yeah.
Um, and So and this is a local tournament. It's just a regular grappling industry. So in my head, I'm like, I'm going into the advanced division. I'm purple belt, but I've been doing jujitsu for a long time. So
Yeah.
there shouldn't be nobody too crazy in the bracket. And then I get to the absolute and it's Brian Brown. And I'm like, oh crap, man. Like out of everybody, because I was planning to play rubber guard. And then I'm
Right.
like,
You should have.
no, yes and no. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a yes and a
Throw
no.
him off, hey, I'm a 10 planet instructor. This guy's doing rubber out at me. Like, yeah, it's not like I've never seen it, but you might have thrown him off a little bit.
Well, I was playing the lockdown. I played the lockdown and I played the lockdown really well. And then I don't know why I abandoned the lockdown like a retard. But anyway, uh, whips my ass. But I lasted longer than all of his opponents.
Right. Yeah.
And that made me feel good because I already knew I was outclassed. But being able to stick in there and say, hey, I at least gave it my all,
Yeah.
and it took him a while.
Yeah.
It took him
No,
a while.
I agree. So, like, I kind of have a saying with some of my guys, because a lot of guys, I have a lot of students, they compete just like me. Sometimes you don't get the results you want. I'm always like, hey, man, you don't got to be the best. You just got to do your best. That's all I can fucking ask. In reality, I don't care if you lose. Like, yeah, I'm sad that you lost in a way because, you're sad, but I don't care. Only you care. Like when I lose, like, it's whatever. It's on me. It's kind of just on you. Like, no one really cares. And it's all for your own growth. And you're only going to be better for it.
Exactly. No, 100%. So it's time for the grappling jiu-jitsu question. So this question I ask all the grapplers on the show, and it's pertaining to jiu-jitsu. It's just a really funny question that I've gotten so many different answers for it. Have you ever called someone out in jiu-jitsu and paid the ultimate price with an L? And it can be a training partner or instructor.
Yeah, like, honestly, there's one of my best friends. He's a brown belt. I don't know if you remember him, Panda.
Panda, yeah, of course.
Oh,
Jiu-jitsu
dude, I
Panda.
talk shit to that guy all the time. I have never tapped him. I never, yeah. Like when we roll, like a victory for me is him not passing my guard. I've got him in like situationals, but that's not really real. We've never started from neutral and worked our way to a tap. Like it's all the time. I've never had that happen on like a big stage, and usually like I'm pretty like humble and I'm pretty nice. I try not to like have to eat my words, so to speak. But it's definitely happened in training just with your boys, where it's like you ain't shit, fool. You fucking roll like Helen Keller, motherfucker. Like it's just, you know, shit like that. But yeah, I've talked to him so many times. I'm like, Brandon, by the end of this fucking roll, you will be in fucking tears. And I'm just in bottom out for 6 minutes, just flailing, going like, I'm cooking him. I have him right where I want him.
Shout out to Jiu-Jitsu Panda.
Yeah.
He was a really cool dude. I met him a few
Great
times
guy.
at Orange. Yeah, he was a real cool dude. Um, okay, so all right, so that's your call out. So
Because
what do you have?
I don't normally like I'm gonna fuck this fool up, whatever. It's like, like that's just not my personality. Maybe a promotional standpoint kind of thing. If I have like a really good match and it's like, hey, I really think that AJ Agazarm is a piece of shit, kind of thing like that. Maybe, but nothing even close to that. But maybe when I get a little more noticeability, maybe I'll be a little more like that. But for the most part, I'm so like I don't want to eat my words. I don't want to be like I'm gonna guillotine that guy in 10 seconds. I lost an OT. Fuck.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So what are your plans for the rest of the year? So we're already in July. August is right around the corner. What are your plans for the rest of this year?
It's such a terrible answer. I don't have anything, dude. Like normally, like I have shit like back to back to back. I've had a couple of like offers in like I think like Vegas in August, and I think Subversive wants me back in October in Orange County. But like as of right now, I don't really have anything going on. I really just want to focus on my passing and my wrestling. ADCC is the one rule set where both times I've done it, I don't do as well. So I think I'm really good at the sub only thing, but now I kind of want to like grow to another rule set. I'm gonna focus more on the ADCC style kind of
So
stuff.
are you gonna do the Open in Arizona?
No, I will not. I thought about it, but I just have other shit going on that weekend. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm
I mean,
busy
hey,
that.
life is always first.
It is, it is. But the good thing about those opens is they're popping up everywhere, kind of almost like Nagas left and right. So I can
Yeah,
for sure,
yeah,
I
yeah.
can for sure get in one sometime soon. And I just want to get better at it because I cut to 45 for the last one, and that was such a bad choice, man. I just felt like dog shit. I barely made weight, and I wrestled or I competed like shit. I think next time I'll just do 70, where I did 70 a couple years back, and I still lost in the first round, but it was like a triple OT kind of thing. I went against somebody who made it to like the final 8, so he was really good. So it's like I could probably do better because honestly, a lot of my matches are at 55 or 70 nowadays. I don't really cut weight. I've won as high as up to like 185 sometimes. So it's just like I feel good. I don't ever really feel like under strength. I just think about like the JT Torreses or the PJ Barches of the world. Like, fuck, they might squash me. So maybe 45 is the way to go. But next open trials run, just 77 kilos. Who cares? Just roll the dice.
You know what? I have to apologize to you. So you were actually in Jersey for an 80cc, right? You
I don't.
didn't?
I don't think so.
No, you never.
No, because I've never done East Coast trials.
It was okay. All right, so then, so thank God it wasn't you, cause I was chill. So it was Jersey, and I was chilling with the 10th Planet guys. I think Marvin was there, and Geo was there, and Boogie was there, and I'm there, and I thought it was you to my
Yeah.
left with a hoodie on, and I'm like, okay, maybe he's he's getting ready, but he looks familiar, but I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay.
I'm like 95% sure it was. Because I've never done East Coast trials. I've only ever done West Coast in Vegas or the Muscle Farm. In terms of East Coast, I've only gone to Florida for the Zapatero qualifiers. I've gone to Chicago a couple times for some Midwest finisher stuff. I don't think it was me, man.
All
I
right, fuck yeah. So I don't have to
I
apologize to you.
think you're in the
Fuck
clear. I
yeah.
think
I take that.
good. Yeah.
I take that in a heartbeat. Yeah, so it wasn't you. So you know what? I don't feel bad anymore. Whoever that guy was, sorry, not sorry.
Ah,
Okay. All right. So this we're almost at our time. And I know you have to go do training also. Um you're not planning anything right now, but whatever comes up, I know you're gonna probably jump on because one great thing about you is whenever something is available, regardless of what competition it is or how big the competition is, how small the competition is, if they ask you, you do it. Like,
Yeah, I'm usually down, especially if I say I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do it. Even if I'm sick that week, or I'm not feeling good. Like if I give me a word, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. Like I'm not like some other guys where it's just like, oh, I'm gonna do it, and then something else comes up, I'll do that instead. It's like, nah, dude. Like if I tell you I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
my last question for you, and I have to know who taught you that guillotine?
So many people, bro. Guillotine is something I started like kind of developing in like probably 2017, late 2017. Watching Marcelo, watching David Avilon, watching Gary Tonin, watching anybody I could find, from Danaher to Gordon to Marcelo, all those guys. The pretzel grip was introduced to me by Alan Sanchez up north
Alan.
in Papendale. We love Alan,
Yes, sir.
EBI welterweight champion, CJJ, finalist, really savage, beat me like 4 times. He's my fucking kryptonite. I love him. He taught me the pretzel grip. I've seen that before, but I saw him use it, and then I started using it, and it's something I just swear by. So we go gable, our wrists cross each other. We go pretzel. We make sure the top part is in the throat, and there is nothing God's green earth anybody can do once they get to full guard. I'm gonna take that neck home, or I'm gonna just space crank you, and you're gonna
Right.
want to tap either way.
So I've been using the Ben Eddy OK grip.
Hook grip, right? Yeah, the hook grip.
Yeah, whatever that thumb, like right on
Yeah,
that thumb. I've been using that and I've been getting some success,
yeah.
but Gi messed up my hands. So now it's like just grabbing the thumb. I don't have any I can't hold anymore. So
Right.
maybe I might have to do the pretzel grip.
I would recommend it because like it's a really strong grip. It's two basically like inverted grips. No one's gonna be able to pull your hands apart. My only issue in the gi is sometimes it's kind of hard to get it properly. Like you want to get this wrist flush against the carotid artery, because that's all chokes are just this artery, pinch to like a garden hose. That's all chokes are, But in the gi, they got that fucking lapel, so it's a little harder sometimes.
Yeah, no, I try to stay away from the gi. I teach the no gi,
Fuck
6
yeah.
a.m. So I'm a no gi guy all day, every day. Still repping 10th Planet.
Yeah,
Mike,
brother.
yo, thank you so freaking much for joining me. This is a blast from the past, and just to talk shit and just talk about jujitsu with people who are out here grinding super hard. Once again, I'm proud of you. I'm so happy you gave me the opportunity to interview you slash talk shit with you. Shout out to Mike John, man. Like, this is freaking awesome. And you don't have anything coming, but I will shout out your Instagram. Do you have anything that you would like to shout out?
Just my school, man. 10th Planet Orange. I don't train
Monster
anywhere.
Squad.
Yeah, I don't train anywhere else but there. I just train with those guys. John Cho,
Oh,
he
show.
builds that school so well. I'm so lucky to have him as a training partner. Um, Foxhound Fuel, one of the best sponsors in the game. Our Life CBD, M85, like all those guys. The Knockout Bakery gives me meal preps every week. So it's just like I'm just so thankful to have people who believe in me. I'm just so fucking lucky to have people like that by my side to keep me going.
No, that's 100%. Well, everyone, thank you so much for joining us on episode 4 of the Grindin Jiu Jitsu podcast with Mike John. Please like, comment, subscribe, hit up the Cash App, help a brother get some better equipment so this podcast could become #1 and fuck up those B team assholes.
Fuck yeah.
Thank you so much, Mike. Have a good night. Take care.
You too, brother. Thank you so much. Hope to see you soon.
Os.
Os.